Morning. I thought I'd take you for a ride on the West Riparian Trail at Chatfield State Park today. We're in the Gravel Ponds parking lot where people like to go paddle boarding. So this is where we start the trail. There are a lot of fishermen that take this trail so that they can drop their hooks into the river, which is off to our left about 100 meters. We'll be joining it in just a minute. Paddle boarders are already out, and canoers. It's about 9:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. Right here is where I ran across a large rattlesnake on the trail last year. So you can find them even right close to where the people get in the ponds to go paddle boarding. Not too many at this end, but you can find them anywhere in the park. We had some rain yesterday afternoon. We've really been needing it. And here we are on the main trail. This section of trail has a lot of poison ivy over on both sides of the trail. This is some of the tallest poison ivy in the park. sometimes growing up above shoulder height. That's because it's shady in here. In other sections, the poison ivy is very short, less than a foot height, because it gets too much sun. It's nice and cool this morning, so we probably won't run across very many people until it warms up a bit. Just up ahead is what I call Shy Bear Junction. There's a trail off to the right and one off to the left. And this is where, if we're going to run across a bear, it'll probably be around here. There's enough cover for them. All of the bear that I have seen in here have been shy. They see my bike coming and they run. This is Russian olive above the trail. It still smells great, but it's past their blooming season. One of the nicer smelling trees that we have. Good morning and thank you. What a proud looking puppy you are. Russian olive is considered a noxious weed. It used to be sold at tree shops, but it doesn't have any enemies here, so it tends to proliferate and take over an area. So they try and get rid of it as much as they can. Still smells great. Russian olive and linden are the two best smelling trees. It's pretty cloudy this morning. They're expecting high winds later today. Up ahead is a blind turn, so I always go slow when I approach this because you run across people on this turn and you don't see them until the very last minute. Isn't this pretty in here? Hi there. Thank you. There's a lady with a dog just ahead of you. Right here, there was a washout 2 years ago, and the trail washed into the river, and I spent a whole year getting the trail open again. I have a little battery-powered chainsaw that I brought up to clear brush. It was easy to do in the winter. Because there were very few people in the winter. So I was able to get in here and have lots of time to work on the trail. This is another blind intersection. Hello, how are you this morning? I see him all the time. He's hard to miss in his bright colors. Hearing some sort of a large engine. I'm not sure what that is. Now we're getting into a section of the park that has a larger population of rattlesnakes. I occasionally see snapping turtles on the trail. Because we're very close to the river and to a couple of ponds. Nice loud bird. Right here I frequently run across snapping turtles. This pond off to the right is very popular with fishermen. Good morning.
Good morning.
This pit toilet is really the pits. It's the worst one in the park. Further up ahead at the Audubon Society, there's a much better one. We're in a sagebrush area, and this is where you'll find most of the rattlesnakes in the park. We're approaching the Audubon Society. They hold classes here. People like to come and sit on the pavilion. Here's a class going on right now. Right here is the better loo. Much cleaner, less stinky than the other one. I'm going to go down to the Waterton Canyon parking lot and turn around. A lot of people who bring their horses into the park at the Waterton Canyon parking lot. There's a section specifically for horse trailers. Here's somebody that left a doggy bag on the ground. I'll pick that up on the way back and dump it at the Audubon Society. They've got a can for it there. Ah, I see that they have cans down here also. Could have brought it here. Not many people yet at the Waterton Canyon. This parking lot really fills up on the weekends very early. This is where the horse trailers park to ride in the park. I'm surprised we haven't seen any horses yet. So I'll go back and pick up that poop bag and bring it up to the trash can at the Audubon Society and dump it there. There's the poop bag. I'll put it in the can and be right back. Take a different leg of the trail on the way back. Again, this is the area where you find the largest population of rattlesnakes. There's a pretty good headwind here. Bicycle approaching. Watch out. I don't want to run over you.
How are you?
I'm good. Yes. I'm gonna lift the camera up here to show you something. Just on the other side of the river, you'll see a concrete, I don't know what you call it, a platform. But there used to be one on this side of the river as well. And there was a narrow gauge railroad that ran up Waterton Canyon. And the railroad came across the river at this point and then continued on up what is now our trail and went up all the way to Conifer and Bailey, and it served the miners that worked up in the mountains. Went by the old South Platte Hotel, which right now is in ruins and has a fence around it. That's one of the few remnants from that old railroad. There was also a stagecoach that ran from Littleton up to the South Platte Hotel. It's right on the border of Jefferson and Douglas counties, right at the river, just above what is now Strontia Springs Dam. Matter of fact, the railroad ran right through that area that's now a reservoir. Well, I can tell that we've had some horses go through here since I came up earlier, because those road apples are very fresh. I have to keep my eyes open for them. Horses have priority on the trail because they're not as maneuverable as humans are. After storms, we frequently have trees down, and that can surprise people, especially bicycles that are going a little too fast. Come around a corner and there's a tree down on the trail. So I have to keep that in mind and be careful. When I find one that's too large for me to move, I turn it into park maintenance. They've been very good at removing them. Right in here, last year there was a beaver carcass on the side of the trail. Probably coyotes got it. It had been eaten out. It was just bones and fur. I see fresh hoof prints on the trail from horses that just passed through here. They haven't yet been covered up by human footprints or bicycle tires, so they're very fresh. More fresh road apples. We're back at Shy Bear Junction now. Sometimes horses cross the river at that point. This section of trail is especially nice on hot days because there's lots of shade in here. And again, this is the area where the poison ivy grows tallest. I'm fortunate being a person that is not bothered by poison ivy. Some people are very sensitive to the urushiol oil that coats the leaves of poison ivy. It's what gives them the shine. You can see cotton on the ground on the side of the trail from these old cottonwood trees. Yeah, here is the dense poison ivy. More fresh road apples. But I haven't seen the horses. This parking lot here is for the sport dog training area. People bring their dogs down and they'll take the dogs on this trail, get them used to hearing gunfire. Of course, they're shooting blanks. I've got quite a breeze now. I don't know if it's bothering the microphone or not. With this cloud cover, it's much cooler than they were predicting. They thought it would go up to about 90 today. I don't think it's up to 70 yet. Paddle boarders are out even though it's chilly and windy. From here, I'll go over to the east side. The West Riparian Loop. Hi there.